It is time for quarterback love-hate now, Jay. And to the surprise of nobody, Jalen Hurts, my fantasy football ride or die, makes the list.
We need a Hurts jersey on the wall.
We do need a Hurts jersey.
We're going to talk about him a lot.
We did draft Hurts.
We got Hurts.
Right, we got Hurts.
Yeah.
Everything else in our draft went wrong, but we at least did get.
We compared Jalen Hurts with Jacoby Myers.
Right, exactly. That's a strong correlation there. I don't know what else I can say about Jalen Hurts that I haven't seen in the show, but again, he was a guy who's a top 8 fantasy quarterback last year. In his first year in a new system, in Nick Sirianni's system, I think that gets lost a little bit. He had only 4 games as a rookie under Doug Peterson, a coaching staff that was fighting with the front office. Like the best receiver Jalen Hurts had was like Greg Ward, AAF superstar Greg Ward, former college quarterback Greg Ward. And so he had 4 games under that system. The whole thing was a disaster. Then last year, first year under Nick Sirianni, again, you may not have loved the passing yardage or the completion percentage, but he still finished as a top 8 fantasy quarterback. He made it up for you on the ground. Again, led the NFL in rushing touchdowns and rushing yards among quarterbacks. Just 16 passing touchdowns, but second year in Sirianni's system, having a second year of Devontae Smith and adding A.J. Brown, I think all those numbers go up. I'm as a top 4 fantasy quarterback this year. Again, look at Jalen Hurts' second year compared to Josh Allen's second year in the NFL. Jalen Hurts was better statistically across the board than Josh Allen. Third year, Josh Allen was the number 1 quarterback in fantasy when they gave him Stephon Diggs. They've given him
It's all about
Brown.
context because, he was throwing potential game-winning touchdown passes last year to Jalen Reagor. And now that's not going to be the case. It's going to be A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in that spot. And I would just buy into the Eagles overall. Like we said earlier, they're now tied with the Cowboys, favorite for the division. They're plus 1,000 to get the 1 seed in the NFC, which I don't mind. I don't think they're the best team in the NFC, but I think they might have the best record because they play the easiest schedule in the league.
They have a great, that's right. That plus 1,000 bet's really interesting because, again, they have a great schedule. And if things break right for Philadelphia, they could easily be the 1 seed. Another team that things need to break right for this year are the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan has kind of gone, I'm pushing all my chips in on Trey Lance, and I'm here for it. He made only 2 starts last year. He averaged 16.8 fantasy points per game. This is a guy, again, we talk about rushing. We talk about dual threat quarterbacks. He rushed for 120 yards on 24 carries last year. I love this quote from Trent Williams. He's given everybody confidence. He's giving everybody confidence in his ability and his poise, the way he commands the huddle. That's Trent Williams talking about Trey Lance. Again, I know a lot about football. You know a lot about football. Neither of us know nearly as much about football as Kyle Shanahan.
Look at that spiral.
And look at this spiral here. We're showing footage of that. Putting the ball where only a guy can complete it. It seems, it's a little 2-hand touch here, but that's all right. That's all right. He's completing passes. And a non-contact drill.
Look at the slow-mo.
Oh, we got a slow-mo spiral.
Wow, that's never coming down.
Oh, dude, okay. He's got an arm. Anyway.
The thing with Trey Lance is that MVP players come out of nowhere. It's weird to say, but Patrick Mahomes was 50-1 to win MVP when he won it. Lamar Jackson was 60-1. Cam Newton, Matt Ryan as well, their MVP seasons, they came out of nowhere too. And if you're looking at players in that range, I think Lance makes the most sense just because we don't know anything about him. He could be really bad this year. He could also be the MVP. And I don't think any player as a rookie in a long time has been put in a situation, effectively as a rookie, has been put in as good a situation to succeed as Trey Lance. We've got Trent Williams manning your offensive line. You've got Kyle Shanahan scamming everything up. You've got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. It's all set up for him.
And I 1,000% agree. As we talk about the rookie quarterbacks from last year, the Justin Fields, the Mac Jones of the world, right? The Trevor Lawrences, none of them have the weapons around them that Trey Lance does. And what gives me confidence, again, is I'm fully happy to admit I don't know nearly as much about football as Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, who has a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo still on the roster that led them to the playoffs, that led them to a playoff win last year, could say hey, or actually led them to 2, be like, you know what? Kyle Shannon's I'm pushing all my chips in on Trey Lance. To me, I think that's significant. Another guy that Kyle Shanahan actually wanted in San Francisco, and he used to coach when they were in Washington, and that's Kirk Cousins, which I think that Yahoo drafters are sleeping on. I'm at QB 14. We've talked about him a decent amount as well. One of only 6 quarterbacks to have over 30 touchdown passes each of the last 2 years. He's had over 4,000 yards passing, 6 of the past 7. Top 12 fantasy quarterback, 6 of the last 7 years as well. Again, last year, 33 touchdown passes, on an offense that was bottom 14 in passing rate.
Yep. Mike
Zimmer out. Here comes Kevin O'Connell. They're going to be a pass-heavy offense, and we talk about weapons. Jefferson, Thielen, Irv Smith, KJ Osborne,
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. I think people are sleeping on the Vikings offense.
Yeah, and it's all about Kevin O'Connell and that shift from Zimmer. Like we were talking about yesterday, now they get the internet in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now they get microwaves. You're going to have to bash sticks together to create fire because they're going to be throwing the ball. It's going to be a more modern offense. And look, Kirk Cousins, if you stack up his stats last year side by side with Aaron Rodgers, not that different.
No.
And I think Kirk Cousins, he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers. He's not a top 5 quarterback, but he could absolutely have Matt Ryan's MVP season. He could get to that level for 1 year behind an offensive line that still isn't great, but isn't the car crash it was when he got there. And Justin Jefferson is as good a chance as anyone to win Offensive Player of the Year. Kirk Cousins 40-1 MVP. I don't think that's insane.
I don't think so either. Again, my bold prediction on the Roto World Draft Guide show was Kirk Cousins over 40 touchdown passes this year. And I also think I'd be interested to know what the odds are on Kirk Cousins leading the NFL in touchdown passes, because I bet they're pretty ridiculous odds, and I actually think that's within the realm of possibility. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'm just saying it's not a terrible bet. They are going to be throwing. Look at what Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips did last year in LA with Matthew Stafford. Obviously, McVay was there as well, but they had a big input in that offense, and that's where they were brought to Minnesota. Plus 1,600, by the way, I'm being told in my ear. Plus 1,600. I like that. How about that?
Yeah.
I'd throw a couple of bucks down on plus 1,600 for Kirk Cousins.
I think it's fine. Also, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility he leads the league in passing either, because he was flirting with that at a time last season, and they went back to running the ball all the time. But now a shift to height and Joe Burrow. I hope Chris Sims isn't watching, because I think Chris Sims thinks Joe Burrow is not just the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's the best small forward in the NBA. Yeah. He's the best athlete around.
Oh, no.
Joe Burrow.
No, this is weird, but Chris Sims and I were at his lawyer's house the other day, and I was just like, Chris, you're married. You have a family. Why is your will made out to Joe Burrow? But that's what Chris Sims has done. He is literally.
Do you hang out at Chris Sims' lawyer's house
all
often?
the time?
Yeah.
All the time. We were doing some legal work, getting some stuff done, and I mean, honestly, I was there to ask the lawyer to get God, I screwed up the joke. What's the when you can't get near somebody? What's
restraining order?
Yeah, restraining order. Yeah. I screwed up the joke. I was going to say I was there to get a restraining order for Chris Sims on Joe Burrow, but anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's true. So Chris Sims has put Joe Burrow into his will. All of his many riches are going to the Burrow household. Here's my concern on Joe Burrow. It's not that he's a bad quarterback. He's a great quarterback. Yeah. We love Joe Burrow. Yeah. I like Joe Burrow. You like Joe Burrow. Everyone likes Joe Burrow. Chris Sims absolutely loves Joe Burrow. My concern is that people are loving him too much. He's going as quarterback 5. I'm a QB 10.
Yeah.
Quarterback 5. Like, he's going ahead of Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson and like a lot of guys. And my concern on Joe Burrow is the inconsistency. 33%. 33% of Joe Burrow's fantasy points last year came from just 3 games. Week 16 and Week 17, the 2 weeks, and then Week 7 at the Ravens. So 2 games against the Ravens and that shootout against the Chiefs in Week 17. Prior to that, he'd had 6 straight games. Yeah, so here are my rankings here. I don't know. Joe Burrow is makes me nervous. When you're talking about a guy who had 4 different games with fewer than 13 fantasy points last year, with the improved offensive line, obviously that helps Burrow. He's going to get more time, but also it's going to help that run game. Yep. This is a pretty good defense.
Taylor's conservative. He wants to run the ball.
That's right. It's a pretty good. They're not going to get into that many shootouts because it's a good defense. They want to run the ball with Joe Mixon. I don't know. Quarterback 5 is super. That's really high.
He had 941 yards against the Ravens across 2 games. The Ravens secondary, particularly in the second game, they had me and you at cornerback. There's just nothing there. They had the second easiest schedule of opposing defenses last year, the Bengals. It's going to be a lot harder this year, so I think there's a lot of stuff. And I think the Bengals overall, they're going to probably be better than they were last year, and they're not going to make the Super Bowl because that's just how it works.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think people are enamored with the Joe Cool, and it was such a great story in the run to the Super Bowl. But I don't think the production is going to be there the way it will be for some other rushing quarterbacks. For him to be drafted inside the top 10, for a non-rushing quarterback to be drafted inside the top 10, you need massive touchdown upside. You need over 40 touchdown, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady type production. And I'm just not convinced that Joe Burrow gets there on a consistent basis.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.